Have you ever wondered what it would be like to purchase a property at auction without ever seeing what's behind the front door? Yeah, you can imagine. It's a pretty scary thing. Well, actually, earlier this morning, I just purchased a property in this same way where I never looked behind the front door and I barely got to look through the windows to know what I was purchasing. And I happened to win the auction. And so now I am pulled up in front of the property and I'm about to step inside of this 2,400 square foot home with 4 bedrooms and supposed to be 2.5 baths. And we're going to see what we purchased here today. And I want to take you on the journey with me as we walk around this property and evaluate what I purchased today. And so without waiting any longer, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back to another episode of Empire Your Life, and today is a great episode, and I'm so happy you're here to see this because, as I just mentioned, we're going to be walking into a property that we purchased at auction earlier today without ever seeing behind the front door, and so it's going to be a surprise for all of us here today. And so we're going to go into this home now. This is a property that is in the Sherwood Forest area that is in Baton Rouge, and this is sort of a middle income type area with great little brick homes and averaging anywhere from 2,000 up to 3,000 square foot, and usually sell in the lower 200,000s for these homes. And so I'm excited that we purchased this property today, and we actually got a steal on this at only $127,000. And so we're going to be able to put some good rehab into this property, at least we hope we will, and be able to turn this property for a profit. And so let's go ahead and take a closer look at the front to see what we got. All right, and we noticed from the sticker on the door here, it is a vacant property, so that is letting us know that for sure this property has been vacant for quite a while, and so we don't have to worry about anybody coming back for belongings or anybody being inside, which would be the worst case scenario here. So let's go ahead and try the front door. All right, so we do have a locked front door here. There's a lockbox, but of course when you buy a property at auction, even though there's a lockbox here, they do not give you a combination and they do not give you a key, or at least in the Baton Rouge area, they do not do that. And so we're gonna have to find another way inside of this property. So, but before we do that, let's take a closer look at the outside a little bit more. And so if we look at the front here, you can see they have landscaping that's overgrown. So we'll need to do a little bit on that, but that's not too bad. It does have some appeal to it that it looks like it has been done in the past. And so that does give us a nice layout to work from, making things a whole lot easier. And here, we are in luck here. Of course, we can see this from the street when we pass by, but we do have an AC unit, which is a big plus there because AC units can cost anywhere from $6,000 to $7,000 for a brand new unit. So if there wasn't one here, that would be a big problem. Now, I want you to take note here, there's no gas meter at this property. Now, not having a gas meter also creates some issues because now we're gonna have to pull a permit and also do a gas pressure test on this particular property in order to get gas service. And so take a few notes there, but that is gonna be a little bit of extra work for us, but nothing we can't handle, right? And as we come around to the side of the property, you can see we have a really nice driveway with a gate as we're stepping up. Looks to be an iron gate. I don't think it's aluminum. Let's see. Some nice iron posts. Yeah, we look good here. So this is a very nice gate here that's on this driveway. All right, we can see some more overgrown landscaping, and I'm not sure if you noticed yet, but it looks like we have some new windows that are all around this property, which is a big savings here. Okay, looking at the backyard, looks like we have a fully fenced in backyard. You can see it has a brand new fence across the back there. Does have another fence here. So we are completely fenced in, and it looks like we have brick that goes all the way around this property, which is amazing. All right, this looks to be like a storage unit. Let's take a look and see what we got here. All right, so it looks like whoever lived here before definitely left a few things, but we may actually be able to use some of this. It looks like there is some materials in here and caulk and paint and things that we might be able to use inside of the house. So definitely good to take note of that. All right, great. All right, now let's try the next door and see if we can get in. So it looks like we have one here that has a deadbolt that's missing, which means that we might be able to pry this door open. All right, let's go on in. We got it, we got it. All right, so look, we're gonna go ahead and walk through this property and basically take some notes on what we need to do to renovate this property and to get it up to top value. Sort of get a lay of the land also if we need to move any walls, open any spaces up to really just make this house flow and be a great family home for somebody here in the near future, hopefully. And so as we're walking around, please take some notes with me. Let me know your thoughts. Don't be afraid to leave some comments below. I wanna hear what you think, and that way I can, put in some of those renovation suggestions as well. I would love to use some of your suggestions, so please comment below. Let me know what you think I should do as far as paint colors, hardware, fixtures, all these different things. I want to hear about it. So let's go and get started. I do know that they had the big flood back here in 2016, and a lot of these houses receive water, in some cases as much as 4, 5, 6 feet of water. But this house, fortunately, did not get that much water. It looks to be less than 2 feet, which is not bad at all. So, all right, so take a look around, and you don't want to look at me, so I'm going to turn you around. All right, so you can see we're in a breakfast area here. You can see where they did the sheetrock, and you could tell now that we're getting inside here, really not a good job on this sheetrock work. So you can see where they put the tape and the float, and it looks like they basically did one layer of float and never came back and sanded that final layer. And so it's definitely going to take us some work in order to get that sheetrock mud flat. You want to get a nice smooth finish so you can go back with some texture. So that's definitely going to be some work for us. And really just looking around, you can see that the previous owner has left some trash in here. So we are going to need a small dumpster at least to remove some of these belongings. Looking in, all right, so according to the old MLS listing we were looking at, it did say there was a half bath, and it looks like we found it. So we have a half bath here with a sink and one toilet. And of course, we already kind of looked at our kitchen here, but let's take a closer look. So the kitchen itself is not that bad. Actually has some really good bones that we can work with. If you see behind me, we do have an electric stove. We got a hood vent up here. We also have an electric range that's built into the cabinet space behind me here. And we have the black dishwasher to match. Now, usually I'm not gonna pick white or black appliances when I'm going with a flip house, but in this case, they're already here, and once we get the power turned on, if these appliances work, we are definitely going to keep them, because we're saving $2,000 to $3,000 from going back with brand new appliances. And even though I would prefer stainless steel, I think most buyers, as long as it looks clean and it works, and we have the right colors and schemes that go with it, I think we can make these work. Now, if you look closely at these countertops, looking through the windows when I originally was looking at this property, I thought that these were granite countertops. And boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Because if you take a close look here, you can actually see that this is Formica countertops. And I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but Formica countertops, where basically it's just a thin piece of material that goes on top of sort of a cardboard backing, and that's what the countertop is made of. And it is waterproof on top, so that way you can cook, and if you have spills and things like that. But it's sort of a very cheap material and doesn't hold up as well as granite or another stone. And so, as much as I don't want to do it, we're definitely going to have to rip off this entire countertop and go back with, at least a 2mm granite to go back in here. We'll try and find some neutral colors, but try and find something that's going to go with these black appliances and with the layout that we have here in this kitchen. And so a lot of potential here, definitely a lot of potential. I'd recommend maybe going with some can lights. So 4 can lights in the kitchen here, I think would work out really nice. Give a lot of light and a very updated feeling. All right, going into what looks like a huge living room area here, which is very nice. They have some beams across the ceiling. Of course, we can always paint those a different color, sort of give it a pop off the ceiling there versus just the old school brown, which really you don't see too much anymore unless it's a cedar, a true cedar type post or beam. Being in this living room, you can see behind me here where they cut 2 feet on the paneling in the living room space and really kind of did a sloppy job with it, to where the only thing you could really do with this is to come back with a chair rail to cover this gap. But this is only 2 feet off the ground. Most of your chair rails need to be at least around 4 feet for it to look right. And so I just think overall the best thing we can do here is to completely rip out all of the paneling out of this living room space and go back with some nice clean sheetrock and finishing, texture, float, the works, and some fresh paint. So the siding, especially now it's cut, I don't think is going to work for us. Now here, this is sort of your main, console area to put TVs and pictures, different things like that. But this is a huge bookcase in here, and some people may like that, but majority would find this pretty bulky. And you'll also notice where this small screen is, which is made for a little bit of a deeper TV to sit inside this hole here. But of course, nowadays everybody has flat screens that hang on the wall. And so what I have envisioned here would be to keep maybe the lower cabinets possibly, and to remove all the upper cabinets and shelves and make space for a big screen, flat screen TV that could sit flat on this wall, maybe with some floating shelves on the side of it, which would give it a very updated look. I'm sure you noticed also the floor is in pretty rough condition. This is actually a linoleum floor, it looks like, a rollout linoleum in this living room space with a fake brick look, of course. And so this fake brick look is gonna have to go, and we'll go back with probably some real laminate or possibly some real wood floors depending on our budget whenever we start to look at all the numbers. All right, going into the space here, you can see this is a foyer area leading back to the front door where we tried gaining entry the first time. And turning to my left here, wow, it really opens up in this space, which looks like could be a formal dining room and potentially a bonus room or a breakfast type room over in the corner there. So now just looking quickly from this front door space, if you were to imagine you're walking into this front door, what do you see here? The first thing I see is that this sight line needs to be opened up. When you have a guest come in here and it feels so closed off, it's really not going to attract buyers as much, and your guests are not going to enjoy the entrance as much. And just imagine if you were able to see more of that window in the back there and have a lot more natural light pouring into the space. And so I imagine this is going to be some supporting walls here, structurally walls that will need to stay to a certain degree, but we can put some columns in here and open up these walls greatly. So you can see from this side of the wall, but I want you to see from the other side as well. So let me go ahead and hop over there so you can see what it would look like if this space was opened up. All right, so we were just on the other side of the wall there, and right behind me here, I think the best course of action is to completely open up this entire space. And so this is gonna go into what was formerly the formal dining room. Now it can just be one big open space and really make this feel like a huge, huge room with a lot more natural light pouring in. I think it'll do a lot for the value, and also just do a lot for whenever people are first walking into that front door, because as we just saw, when you're walking in that front door there, you're really blocked off and there's not a lot of light. And so let's just open it up. Every buyer wants it to be more open. Open floor plan. And of course, this would make a nice little office or breakfast area here as well. Maybe a sitting area, a kid's playroom. And this is always a fun one behind me. If you could see where they have the border at the top of the wall there, that is sort of an old school thing they used to do all the time. The problem is though, is that border, especially being there for so long, really sticks hardcore to the sheetrock. And usually when you try to start peeling it away, it peels off that top layer of sheetrock with it. And so I know back in the day they really liked that style, but it does cause us as real estate investors or people looking to rehab their homes a lot of trouble. And so this whole wall looks like it has not only a border, but wallpaper here as well. And this is sort of in that little bonus room off the kitchen. But they also have, and if you can see across the room the other side there, they also have it in the foyer room area as well. And so we're gonna have a lot of work there to get that right as well. But luckily, we already are doing a lot of sheetrock work in here to finish what was already started. And so what's a little bit more, right? But we'll be able to get top value. You can see more of the sheetrock work here. That's some pretty rough sheetrock work there. We can get a pretty good close in there. And as we continue to go down the hallway, you can see, let's see, right here we have some new doors, either new or doors that were here prior but are in great shape. So you have some 6-panel doors there. They're not busted up. I do notice the old gold knobs, so we'll definitely be upgrading that to some brushed nickel finishings throughout the entire house. Hardware, fixtures, the works. All right, now I'm going into it. Looks like would be our first bedroom, but if you take a close look, you can see where they opened up. Oh, what we have there in the corner. Okay, so to my surprise now, looks like we have some termite damage. So you can see where they were crawling up the walls and building some beds here. All right, so this behind me is not something that I was expecting to walk into today. And really, as a real estate investor, this is one of the most scary things that you can possibly run into, and that is termite damage. And so you can see behind me there's some beds in the sheetrock, which means that the wood, the 2x4s behind here, are probably eating up a good bit as well. And so we're gonna have to look further into this and definitely get a termite company out here to evaluate it, treat it, and then also put this house on a termite contract that it could get treated regularly on an annual basis at least, to make sure we don't have any future issues. And also too, any buyer, you're gonna have to disclose this, so every buyer is gonna know that you have that contract and that it's protected and been treated the right way. And so, you know, don't try and cover things up like this. If you see termite damage or mold damage or any of those kind of things, make sure you consult with a professional, somebody that can really come in and help you to solve the problem, and that way you don't have to deal with it anymore, and you could be honest as you're dealing with your buyers or anybody that you're dealing with the house. And so do it the right way. But as I was saying before, you can see here where they opened up this wall, which I'm assuming used to divide the first and second bedroom into what looks like maybe they were trying to do a master suite here in the front, which is a little bit strange because normally your master suite's gonna be more toward the back of the house where it's a little bit more private. So you can see it's not a bad space, so we'll need to consider maybe adding this wall back to turn it back into a 4-bedroom, or possibly leave it as it is, depending on what the market calls for. And I'm assuming this spot here would be a great place to go ahead and throw that door in to be able to come into this bedroom if we go back as a 4th bedroom. All right, so let's see where this goes here. So I'm in the hall bathroom right now, which also happens to attach to one of the bedrooms. It was actually the first bedroom that we walked in just now. But if you look behind me here, you can see that this tile backsplash that's on this shower is actually in really good condition. It is not my favorite color. It's kind of a light tannish, brownish, creamish type color. But I want you to know that in cases like this, you can actually have this tile refinished into a white, a blue, any color that you want to go with that matches your design and your color scheme, whatever you're doing in your particular house. And so, instead of ripping all this tile out and just wasting it, because really a lot of these little squares are starting to come back now into style, and you're starting to see them more in new designs. So why waste this tile just to put something similar back up when you can simply refinish it for a couple $100 versus $1,000 or more for a shower surround? So just a little tip to keep in mind. All right, so we can see it does wrap around to the hallway. Let's see, the bathroom here is not in bad shape. All right, so I'm seeing a pretty dark hallway here, which means we need to add some can lights straight across this hallway to really brighten it up. And so that's gonna be one of the first things we do here to really get some good light. Because even when we start painting in here and it's really dark, it's gonna be hard to tell that we got a good finish on our paint. And so definitely wanna get some lights in here as soon as we possibly can. Bedroom we're looking at here with the multicolor ceiling fan there is gonna be our, which should be a third bedroom, but the second bedroom that we're looking at now. All right, so now we're stepping into the master bedroom. And so the master bedroom, you can see, also has a 2-foot cut all the way around with that bad sheetrock work still all the way around throughout the entire house. And so we have a lot of work to get that sheetrock work right, as far as sanding that mud down, getting a nice flat, flat finish, and be able to texture it after. So master bedroom here, we do have the brand new windows in as well. And it looks like it does go back to a master bathroom, which of course you always want an ensuite bathroom, which makes a true master bedroom in my opinion. And also helps with the upsell a whole lot. Let's take a look at the bathroom. All right, so this is our master bathroom here. So you can see kind of the same as the hall bathroom. Sort of have that hard marble top on there. Still got some of the new doors. Looks like it goes into a master bedroom closet there, master closet, which looks to be a good size. A little bit dark to see in there. But we can see the tile in the backsplash for the shower. Looks to be in good shape as well. All right, so we're just wrapping up the tour of this property that we purchased at auction without ever seeing what was behind the front door. What did you think about it? Did you think this was a good buy, a bad buy? What do you think? Leave me some comments below. I want to hear your thoughts on, if this is one that you would have been happy purchasing or if you would have been very sad purchasing this property. And also, look, if you have any design ideas from our walkthrough here today, please leave some comments and let me know what paint colors, fixtures, hardware, what do you think would look good in this house? I want to hear about it. And look, if you haven't already, make sure hit that subscribe button so you can become a part of the Empire Your Life community. And that little notification bell down there, if you go ahead and hit that, I'm going to post some future videos as we go through this property and we do progress to get it toward the finish line. I'm going to update some videos that I want you to stay up with to see what's going on. And so hit that bell and you'll get a little notification every time I post a new video. So as always, just continue to get out there and build your empire. Hey, so if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you can become a part of the Empire Your Life community. And also, hit that notification bell. I'm going to be posting some progress videos on this project so you can see how we go from now until we get to the finished product. And as always, just continue to get out there and build your empire.